Hey everybody, this is GGB. Today we're going to be talking about, obviously, all the NFL games. It's going to be cool. You know what? We have a weird game, 8:30 Central. We got the Dolphins traveling to Jacksonville. Well, not truly traveling to Jacksonville. I'm glad other teams are being stolen of their home games. As a Saints fan, it makes me rather glad that I have to see other teams not really get a home field advantage either. But this game's going to be taking place in London, which honestly should not count as anyone's home game, right? Am I the only one that thinks that? I think that's just absolutely atrocious. It doesn't seem quite fair, but, let's go over who the Dolphins might be. Dolphins will be getting back to attack if I had lower for this week, which is huge. It's such a huge thing. The Dolphins' offense has been sputtering. They're 1-4 right now, and they desperately need him to come in and succeed. The problem with that is you look at this roster at receiver, what started out as in my opinion, one of the deepest receiving cores in the entire NFL. It has been really thinned out over the past couple of weeks. You have Devontae Parker. He's going to be out with a shoulder injury this week. Will Fuller's gone on IR with a finger injury. He's out till week 8. Preston Williams has a groin injury. He's had a limited practice, so he's questionable. Allen Hurns went down with a wrist injury on IR. And they traded away Jakeem Grant to the Bears, I think. So, that seemed like a smart move at the time, but now it's like this receiving core is thin. Obviously, your number one receiver, if Preston Williams is not able to go, is going to be Jalen Waddle, the 2020 first-round pick out of Alabama. But then after that, you got Albert Wilson, the veteran out of Georgia State in his 8th year in the NFL. Mac Hollins, who's made some big-time plays for the Dolphins in the past, but he's going to be your number 3 option. 2017 4th-round pick out of UNC. And then you get some guys you got off the street. Isaiah Ford has been on the practice squad for at least a year now. The 2017 7th-round pick out of Virginia Tech. And then you got Kirk Merritt, the second-year player out of Arkansas State. So again, some injuries on that side of things. Luckily, they didn't have any injuries on the running back side of things. But at tight end, they do lose their number 3. Adam Shaheen, their number 3 tight end, has a knee injury. He had a limited practice, so he's questionable. If he's not able to go, Ethan Carter will be the number 3 tight end's position, the 6-year player out of Nebraska. And then center Michael Dieter, unfortunately, went down with an injury foot. He on IR at least until next week. But Greg Max, the 8th-year veteran out of Toledo, is going to take over that starting role. On defense, there's honestly not that too many injuries, but your number 1 and number 2 corner, Xavier Howard, has a shoulder injury. He's going to be out for this game. And Byron Jones had a limited practice. He's questionable with an Achilles injuries. Both of them aren't ready to go. You're going to be looking at Elijah Campbell, the second-year player out of Northern Iowa, and Justin Coleman, the 8th-year player out of Tennessee, starting in those 2 roles. How far has Noah Igbenogany fallen? This was a first-round draft pick last year. Obviously, he's not a rook. He's in his 2nd year in the NFL. He is literally their 5th corner. It's just weird. Nick Needham, obviously a guy they have a lot of respect for. Nick Needham, 4th-year player to UTEP, but they mostly use him in the nickelback role, which is why he's so far not on the list. They don't want him really starting at boundary corner. And then Trill Williams, the rookie out of Syracuse. If you know me, I was a big fan of Trill Williams coming out of college. I really think he should have been drafted. So we'll see if he can make his way onto the field today. Jaguars have a couple injuries. Most people know the DJ Chark injury. He's got an ankle, IR, likely out for the year. That bumps everyone up a spot. Marvin Jones Jr., 2012 5th-round pick out of Cal, is going to be the number 1 receiver. Laviska Shenault Jr. been having a quietly very good year on the Jaguars. 2020 2nd-round pick out of Colorado, who is... If you go back and watch my video, top 10 receivers in the draft, I was a huge fan of Laviska Shenault Jr. coming out of college. He's finally proven me right. So Jamal Agnew was a guy I've been talking about a while. Every single Jacksonville game, and it's like I'm saying he's not being utilized enough. He's finally been promoted to the number 3 wide receiver role. He was number 4 last week, despite the DJ Chark injury. He's a 2017 5th-round pick at San Diego, but he is a phenomenally fast player. Great slot guy to have. Tavon Austin is listed as the number 4 receiver, 2013 first-round pick out of West Virginia. Tyron Johnson is the number 5 receiver, 5th-year player actually third-year player out of Oklahoma State, and then in Laquan Treadwell's their number 6 receiver now. 2016 first-round pick out of Ole Miss, if you did not know. Man has been himself a case of what happens when you get a little bit too full of yourself. He was a first-round draft pick and then just really never produced with the Vikings. Interesting offensive line. Obviously, it wasn't the best offensive line to begin with, which is why this hurts. Brandon Linder went down with a knee MCL injury. He's going to be on our at least until week 9, which means Tyler Shatley, the 9th-year player out of Clemson, is going to be starting at center. And then at right guard, A.J. Cann went down with a knee injury. He's going to be on IR until week 8, which means Ben Barch, 2020 4th-round pick, is going to be starting at right guard. Defensive end, we got Roy Robertson-Harris. He had an ankle injury. He had a limited practice on Friday, so he's going to be questionable for this game. If he's not able to go, DeJuan Smoot is probably their leading player to get it. He was a 2017 third-round pick out of Illinois. Adam Gotsis also has seen a good amount of snaps. So the 2016 second-round pick out of Georgia Tech could see it. Taven Bryan's one of those weird players. 2018 first-round pick out of Florida, and he is listed as their number 5 defensive end on the depth chart. Obviously, that really hurts if you are a Jaguar fan. And then inside linebacker, this is the injury that really hurts, is Miles Jack. He went down with a back injury. He's going to be out for at least until week 8, which means our options starting is Dakota Allen, the 2019 7th-round pick out of Texas Tech, Shaquille Quarterman, the 2020 4th-round pick out of Miami, and Chappelle Russell, the 2020 7th-round pick out of Temple. So, this is a must-win for the Dolphins. So, honestly, Dolphins, come on, you got to prove me right here. You got to stay in playoff contention. You got to stay in there. I can blame a lot of the fact that they were not very good on offense and the fact that Jacoby Brissett was starting. Tua's got to do well. That's also an interesting injury. Jacoby Brissett's listed as questionable for this game. Tua Tagovailoa ends up re-injuring that rib, and Jacoby Brissett's not able to go. It's going to be a Reed Sennett. Obviously, not ideal for the Dolphins. If the Jags are really in a free fall right now. They desperately need a win. Which is why the spread's only 3 points in this game. I like the Dolphins here, though. I think the Dolphins are going to get the win coming with a Tua Tagovailoa resurgence. Give me the Dolphins.